When you go to find a cymbal, like what's the first thing you do? Are you tapping on it with your finger? What are you looking for?
That is the first thing I do, is tap on it with my finger. If I'm in a music store or wherever they're selling cymbals, if you hit it with your finger, and I think if you hear something that you like, it's worth investigating.
Is it musicality? Is it tone? Is it the tone? Is it sustain?
It's all of the above, really. I mean, you can only get so much from hearing it by hitting it with your finger as opposed to a stick. But I think that by hitting it, just tapping it with your finger, you can get an idea of how it's going to respond with a stick. Like as far as the sustain of it, the tone of it, the brightness or the darkness of it, all those things I think are pretty obvious just from the first touch of it.
So what do you like personally? Like what are you looking for in hi-hats and in crash cymbals and in ride cymbals? And
for hi-hats, I've always leaned towards kind of a brighter sound with hi-hats. I'm a big fan of the A hi-hats and now the Avedis hi-hats. So I like something that can sort of cut through, but yet be dynamic at the same time. You know, it needs to be able to speak at a low volume as well as a high volume.
Do you find that the weight dictates that a little bit?
Very much so. I don't like extremely heavy hi-hats. I kind of prefer them on the thinner side.
Okay.
As long as they have that cut that can cut through amplification of guitars and just a band. But at the same time, to be able to speak at a low volume is really important also.
Yeah. Well, moving over, getting into crashes and rides, what happens over there? What are you looking for there, weight-wise?
I'm looking for a sort of a balance between light and dark. I like to have a bright cymbal, like a light, bright-sounding cymbal, and I like to have at least one that's kind of on the darker side. Usually with the ride cymbal, that winds up being the one that's on the darker side, and the crash cymbal can be sort of brighter, so that you have a blend of the two things. For instance, if you hit a minor chord, I like to have something darker that can support that minor chord, And the same with a major chord, you brighter cymbal, something that sounds kind of open and airy.
So that's cool. I've never thought of it in terms of hitting cymbals with chords. You and I talk a lot about drums, and most of the education I have about drums has come from you, so I've annoyed you, but now we're really just doing this on camera. I've never known that. We've never discussed that part of that. So that's new information, and that's good to know. I'll start listening now when I play a minor chord what you're going to hit.
Well, it's not always, but if I know that there's a minor chord that requires a darker sound from a cymbal, I've got that. Same with a major chord or something that's kind of happy sounding, might benefit more from a brighter sounding cymbal. My whole perspective on drumming is less about drums themselves, but more supporting a song, you as a singer, and it's really a treat to be able to lock in with somebody like JT and provide a support for what you're doing on guitar and singing,
Yeah, well, it's a foundation, and so much of what we do stems from you guys, and maybe that's not said anywhere, but it should be. A lot of times on stage, I'll get to where I'm just, you get on autopilot thing when you've played the songs enough, and you get to start really listening to what other people are doing. I'll be listening to what you're doing, or you'll catch me with something that because you found a spot to do something fun, or JT does the same thing, and it always brings a smile to my face, and I love that circle up on the stage, just to get to listen to each other and enjoy playing with each other. That's the wonderful thing about the band that we get to play in.
It goes beyond just drums or cymbals. Even though we're talking about cymbals, I mean it's really just music. It's interacting musically. It's having a conversation. It's not spoken, but the conversation is happening.
we've been shut down to some degree, well, to a large degree, touring wise anyway, and we kind of rented this room and created this space where we could come play a little bit and do remote TV shows and things, and with testing and whatever else. But you know, how do you feel like it's changed your perspective on when we get to go back out and play, or just the perspective on music and the need for it in general?
It's created more excitement for me. I'm sure you're probably the same. Like we've not been able to do what we've wanted to do for a while now, and so I think that's made me. It just made me want to do it even more.
Yeah.
And then being able to come here, and the things that we've done here, they've all been. It's almost like a gift, you know, during this time, where you go for such a long time and you're not able to interact with other people, and especially play music with other people. For us to be able to come in here and spend a few hours playing music, it's absolutely a gift to me.
Yeah, well, it has been for me too.
Yeah.
And you know, just we were rehearsing last night, and you know, it started feeling like that's what we do again. Like, it hasn't felt that way to me for a while. Like, you know, we've come and done those things, and those moments have been good. But I've, you know, touring's on the horizon, and all those things are on the horizon, and an audience is on the horizon. And I think I've developed an even greater appreciation than I had before, and I had a great appreciation pre the pandemic. But for what that is and what we get to participate in, and what a wonderful kind of joyous thing that we get to participate in as a job, you know, like we get to be somebody's good time.
Absolutely.
And it's and consequently ours too. So
yeah.
I'm ready for that to happen again.
Me too. And it's like, it seems fresh right now. It's almost like we're doing this for the first time.
Yeah, I have that kind of kid at Christmas excitement about it.
Exactly.
Know?
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas morning.
It's open
all
the
year
presents.
long.
It's open the presents, man.
That's right.